What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and the work that is done repeatedly by the wonderful anonymous person behind the Libs of TikTok account is starting to come to fruition now. People are getting fired. People are getting voted out. There's huge waves of parents getting involved in school boards that were never interested in them before. And that's the right way to handle this stuff. Vote them out, get involved, be proactive. And the work that Libs of TikTok does, kind of revealing this stuff to the general public, is extraordinarily important. And I've got just another perfect example for you right here. This quote says from a parent, they're actively grooming them. Parents confront school board over drag show as more staffers are placed on leave. Now, this is a topic that, I've talked about before. I don't think there's anything wrong with drag shows whatsoever. I think they're super entertaining, but they're for adults. You know what I mean? Like, they're not. We talked about this. I think that there was some parent who was, her kid was like, 10, and they're like, oh yeah, he totally loves drag. How? You mean you were watching RuPaul's drag race with him and told him how great it would be if he did it? 10-year-olds don't fall in love with drag unless their parents are promoting it to them directly. A deluge of parents and taxpayers confronted school board members of a Hempfield school district in Landisville, Pennsylvania on Tuesday after a teacher invited multiple drag queens to the high school last month without the parents' knowledge. As the Daily Wire previously reported, the after-school event at the school was hosted by a French teacher, Kelly Tyson, the sponsor of the school's GSA club. Provoking shock from parents who were not aware of the event until after it had occurred, Tyson, who is now on administrative leave, posted Instagram handles for the drag queens on the learning management system, Schoology, thereby giving students a means to contact them directly. All 4 accounts include spicy content. I mean, I don't know how else to describe this. It's another, obviously here, this was posted on Libs of TikTok. A Pennsylvania teacher hosted a drag show event for students as a part of the GSA club. Parents were reportedly not notified. A district has confirmed this morning that the teacher has been fired. Now, the interesting thing here is that, again, this is another perfect example, very perfect example, of these teachers who think that they have a right to these children's upbringings outside of teaching them reading, writing, arithmetic, or in this case, meaningless language in French. Just kidding, French viewers. What am I afraid of? I mean, are you gonna surrender? I'm kidding. Americans are fat. Okay, we're equal. All right, we're even. Some of you tried to make us feel insignificant, parent Meredith Hilt told the school board. Our concerns have been 100% validated, and they are actively going after our kids. Crowds of people supporting Tyson arrived early meeting, which was attended by several hundred community members, both virtually and in person. The demonstrators waved rainbow flags outside the district administrative building as the passing vehicles honked. Ahead of the meeting, parents told the Daily Wire that their presence at the school is in no way, shape, or form about the LGBTQ community. Several parents chose to pray around the administrative building's flagpole half an hour before the meeting began. Look, are there people that inherently have a problem with drag because they have a problem with people in the LGBTQ community? I'm sure there are. But I think most people, where we can find like some common ground here, which is important to me, we can find some common ground here is like, can we agree that these type of shows are not for high schoolers? They're for adults. Many in the drag community would 100% agree with this. Now, I do think it's awfully odd that these performers were fine with it. They thought going to the high school to perform, I'm sure they got paid. That was a good thing. That was something they should be doing. That makes me suspicious too. Hempfield School Board President Grant Keener shared a statement of the board, which confirmed that the investigation of the drag queen event is ongoing and in an appropriate and affirming way. He also announced that 2 more individuals behind Tyson had been placed on administrative leave. In a subsequent statement, Hempfield School District Superintendent Michael Bromirski discouraged parents from sharing, quote, misinformation that could impede the investigation and admonition. I can't ever say that word either. That was met with collective groans from meeting attendees. But we know where that talking point comes from, right? Misinformation. I mean, what do you mean? You mean information that you don't like? Information that is inconvenient to you? The first speaker in the board meeting was Richard Boyer, one of the parent organizers who launched a Facebook page, Let's Talk Hempfield. Hempfield. Why do I keep thinking there's an I there? Which parents have been using to watch for inappropriate contents in school. You are not hated by the majority, Boyer told the LGBTQ community. You have been accepted by the majority, as evidenced by your physical presence and continued growth in our district. Yes, there are individuals within the district who are ignorant and bigoted, but they do not represent the majority. Boyer, a disabled veteran who served in the United States Army for 20 years and currently works to help other disabled veterans, told the Daily Wire that his job had been threatened by progressive activists alerting his employers to his activism. This manufactures false hate, Boyer said in his speech. Another parent called for an independent external investigation into the after-school event. She also mentioned concerns over bullying, frequent fights, lax dress code enforcement, and spicy material and curricula. Concerns that other parents echoed throughout the evening. Last month, in this very room, after bringing concerns forward, we were lectured to, quote, trust the teachers, that our children, quote, need to be stretched and feel uncomfortable. Is that really the role of the classroom and clubs, she asked? Stacey Hernandez, a parent who the Daily Wire interviewed in previous reporting about the show, expressed concern over the school board allowing, quote, filth into our school. I know some people may feel that way. I mean, again, to the performers that chose to accept this, I have some questions. To the teacher who thought this was okay, I have some questions. To the other 2 people who have been fired since, I have some questions. Why weren't you public about this? Why didn't you inform the parents? It's because you knew that you were doing something wrong. Our schools are overreaching and indoctrinating our children, which has created confusion and stress in the most vulnerable, she said. It's a form of extreme bad behavior and about indecency in our schools and lack of leadership. Another mother told the school board it was, quote, unfortunate that it took a small group of parents to discover that this event even took place to bring it to your attention. This group of parents had to do a job that someone in this school should have done, she added. It's highly likely that this group of parents had they not revealed their findings, the show would have gone on and continued for years to come. That should concern everyone. She also condemned Tyson for allegedly asking kids to bring, quote, cash to tip the queens, and provided social media handles for their performance, which included videos where they say stuff repeatedly and lick they're just gross, not, content not for kids. Okay, we'll just say that. Recently, I was told by a member of this board that we have an obligation to challenge our children and create critical thinkers. I ask, at what cost? I agree with you. We have an obligation, she added. However, you also have an obligation to provide a safe environment for our kids, first and foremost. And again, you want to get up to this stuff in a private school where you're 100% privately funded? Fine. I mean, I'm not going to agree with it, but feel like I have less of an opinion. When tax dollars get involved, then it's everyone's business. One speaker warned the board members about a movement that has desired to gain access to our kids. The movement hides behind words like inclusion, equity, and social justice, microaggression. We've seen it play out across the country. We've seen some school districts concerned parents labeled as troublemakers, aggressors. Another parent discouraged activists from turning the discussion over to the Drake Show into a hate issue and brought up concerns over bullying. We as parents are constantly hearing that this issues at the school, she remarked. We're viewing videos of kids. My daughter shows me videos almost every day. It's actually nuts. She condemned the members of the community for using terms such as predators, as well as characterizing the Drake Show as obscene. In the latter half of the meeting, more individuals spoke in favor of the show, including GSA Vice President Miguel Angel, who said that as someone who is in the LGBT community and someone who is physically present at the event, and as someone who would like to think is educated enough to make an argument, I think what the district is doing is wrong. Well, you're a kid. You don't get to really have a say here. If your parents want to take you to a drag show, more power to them. But when you're spending taxpayer-funded dollars to bring entertainers that are not for kids into a school environment, that's not okay. I thank Libs of TikTok for continuing to bring this kind of stuff to everyone's attention. And I look forward to more school board wins, more administrative leaves, more firings, and a deep dive into when this all started and how long it's been going on. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.